Alright, so now just tear one of these sections off, and then we're going to roll it into a ball and use your working surface to kind of knead them into these little circular balls. Pull the top section of the dough down and create these tight skinned balls of sorts, and then you're going to pinch everything at the bottom and then just roll it up. So now these guys will go into our baking tray, and I have an 8 by 8 inch pan lined up. So I'm going to have about 8 medium-sized balls in here, and then I'm going to store the rest of my dough for tomorrow. So I can have some fresh ones tomorrow as well. So you can bake them all off right now if you like, or you can bake some tomorrow, some today, like I'm going to be doing. So make sure that your pan is greased. I've greased it with some vegan butter. You can also use oil. And let's go ahead and start placing them in here. Alright, perfect. So now we're going to let these rise once more for about 15 to 30 minutes depending on the temperature of the room or the little enclosure that you're going to put your dough balls in. Since I'm putting it in my oven and it's slightly warmer than room temp, I think around 15 to 20 minutes should be more than enough. And then we can butter them up, do the little cross on them, and then bake them. Alright, so while the buns are now rising for the second time, what we're going to do is make our little cross, the flour paste that's going to go on top in the cross shape, which is basically what we'll pipe onto our buns. So I have a little setup ready here with a disposable piping bag and a piping tip. I normally use my reusable piping bag, but right now I ended up ripping it a few days ago, so I'm using these disposable guys. But I do highly recommend using a reusable one, a silicone reusable one over these. Alright, so let's get started and set this up. So I'm just snipping off the top on the piping bag and then putting the tip in there. And you want to kind of push it out. And I'm doing like a squiggly round guy over here. And that's the tip that I'm using. But you can feel free to use any kind of flexible tip that's going to get a decent amount of the piping out in one go. And I have a big mug here. So I'm going to bend this tip inwards like this. And then place it in the bowl, in the mug, sorry. And then open out the piping bag from the top and then kind of push my hand in to create the space. So this is ready to go. And now let's go ahead and make our tip. So we'll take about 75 grams of flour here. And I'm adding it in. So about 1/3 cup of flour. I'm adding it into a bowl. And we're going to add a little water at a time, a tablespoon at a time. So let's go ahead and do that. So this doesn't need to be super precise. You kind of need to eyeball it. So you want it to be a thick, pipeable paste. Alright, so it's getting there. As you can see, it's still a little sticky and lumpy. So just kind of work your spoon in to avoid any lumps as well. It's almost, I'm going to add one final splash, but really like half a tablespoon, not even. That's looking good. So making sure I'm straightening the sides as well. Now if you want to add any food coloring to this, you can. But I kind of like to keep it plain because everything else has those like raisins and that beautiful mango color added in. So this kind of can just be plain and white and simple. Alright, so this is ready to be piped. And now we can go ahead and check on our buns and to see how well they present. Alright, so the buns are now done proofing for the second time. As you can see that they are very lightly touching each other, and that is where we want them to be. And now we're going to go ahead and pipe that cross on top. I also have some vegan melted butter ready, so we can brush them with that. In the meantime, you can also preheat your oven to 190 degrees Celsius. Alright, so you can kind of just use the mug to help you get any fallout if in case, if at all. And now let's go ahead and light it. Alright, so I'm just continuing brushing process. Alright, perfect. Let's go ahead and bake these now at 190 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. Alright, so the rolls are now ready, and the last step we're going to do is douse them in some maple syrup to give them that really beautiful, shiny exterior. And we're also going to demold them now. They are ready to eat and devour. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Hope you guys had fun. Hope you guys give this recipe a try. And do check out my Instagram page as well. It's linked in my bio. Hope you guys have happy Easter.